Hi, my name is April and welcome to your practice. Our practice today is going to be using the wall. One of the best support networks you can use for any of your practices is to use the wall as a stabilizing thing or to help you get deeper into a pose or less into a pose. So we're going to be using this wall to help us go into some yin poses for the upper body. So all you need is a wall, something underneath you for a little bit of padding. If you want a blanket or a mat, go ahead and get those set up for you and make your space. We're going to start a melting heart pose. So you can take your arms up the wall, take them a little bit wider, and you can start to sink into the chest. Let your forehead rest on the wall. If you want more, you can start to step back a little further from the wall and allow the body to sink in, resting your forehead on the wall. Already here you can feel a lot of depth to this pose. If you need more space, walk the hands a little wider or a little closer together. Find 2/3 of your maximum pose. And start to breathe into this pose. The further you take your knees away from the wall, the more back bend will come into this pose. So adjust accordingly. Because we're using the stability of the wall and we're putting sort of our grounding into it, we won't hold these poses for quite as long as we normally would. On the wall, you can adjust your pose more readily. So in gravity, when we're doing it down on the floor, you only have a certain amount of gravity, it's pulling you toward the floor. Here, you can adjust how much depth you have in the pose. Coming back a little bit or deepening it further. Starting to lift your head, coming away from the wall very slowly. Maybe sitting back on your heels for a breath or two. If you like movement, you can sort of circle the wrists, circle the shoulders a couple of times. I always find that when I use the wall, I actually get more depth to my poses than I'm expecting. So we've opened the upper side, the inside. We're going to take twisted ropes. We're going to add a little different to it though. We're going to take a single version of it. So walk those hands back up again. Maybe walk yourself a little closer to the wall. You're going to take that right arm and thread it under so that the shoulder rests against the wall and the palm is facing out. Here again, the more you slide down and lean into it, the more pressure you're going to get on the back of that shoulder. So adjust accordingly. Start to walk that left hand back down. Come all the way down. We're going to take a little, what some people call broken wing or open wing. So you're going to take your elbow about the high as the shoulder to the side. You're going to run it up against the wall. So some people will have more range of motion and be able to twist a little bit deeper, some will not. Take that arm back behind you a little bit. You can turn your body away from it depending on where your mobility is. Nice stretch for the upper chest area, back of the shoulder. And even for the neck, so if you turn your head away from that shoulder toward the left, you'll find more opening. Feel a deep stretch down this back of the neck, the side of the neck, top of the shoulder. Just about one more minute here. Extending your exhale. Remember, we're in yin here. We want to soften and release. We're focusing not on the muscles, but on the connective tissue. Joints, bones. Go and turn back toward the wall. Slide that hand down. Take a couple of breaths here. Go deep, opening the back side and the front side. So there's not as much connective tissue in the upper body. A lot of it is centered between the belly button and the knees. So in this area, you want to hold these a little less time just because there's not as much connective tissue to affect here. So be a little gentler. And we also have very, very tender shoulders in our society. We have a lot of shoulder injuries, not instability in the shoulder area. So we want to take good care of that. So we're going to switch sides here. Coming back to our twisted ropes. Remember how far you want to be away from the wall. This time you're going to take that right hand up the wall, left hand you're going to curve underneath, come into the back side of the shoulder. Start to slide that right hand down. Come down into our open wing or broken wing. So this side may be different. So you'll take that elbow as high as the shoulder, a little bit beyond it. Turn yourself away from the wall. You may find this side has more opening or less opening. Walk that hand back and just twist away from the wall. Letting your breath lengthen on the exhale. Last few deep breaths here. Turn a little bit toward the wall, pull away, and just come down to a seat. With your back against the wall. Take a few breaths here. Let the shoulders soften and relax. And take kind of a version of an upper shoulder and back stretch. It's opening the chest. So bring the bottoms of the feet together. Take our hands and turn them out so that the pinkies are up against the wall, but the rest of the fingers are kind of away from the wall. So you can sink out further. So taking yourself further away from the wall will open the chest more, but you can be closer to the wall if you want. You can drop your head back and feel the support of the wall, which is really nice. You can keep moving out further, kind of finding that sweet spot for you. Working with the different rotation of the shoulders. Here the shoulders are rotating more forward. Close your eyes and just take some nice deep breaths. Just one more minute here. Start to lift up just a little bit. You're going to turn the heel of the hand toward the wall. And just lean back for just a couple of breaths here. You can bend the elbows a little bit out to the side. Lift up. Circle those wrists. Circle the shoulders. I always recognize just how much the wall can give me that stability and how I can add a little bit of depth to my practice. Shaking everything out, we're going to take a little twist to start with. So come up onto your knees. Get up as close to the wall as you feel comfortable, or you can turn and rotate yourself around. And that may require you taking the knees a little bit more toward the wall and the feet away from it, and that's okay. Find what works best for you. We're going to turn ourselves kind of like we were in broken wing. We're going to take the elbows about as high as the shoulders, a little bit below. We're going to twist into the wall. So using that right arm just a little bit, opening up the chest and shoulders. The closer you are to the wall, the more you will get into this twist. Start to turn your head back the other way. Unwind yourself from the wall. Just sit quietly. You can even lean over on the wall. Give yourself a little support here. Nice deep breaths. Maybe pet a kitty who comes to visit. Switching to the other side whenever you're ready. So remember taking yourself up to as close to or as far away from the wall as you want. I like a little bit of distance because I don't have that much twist. Taking that left hand back behind you, right hand in front of you, turning and looking back behind you toward that left shoulder. Last few breaths here. Gently unwinding, sliding that hand down. Here, tucking those feet out behind you. Taking a moment or two to just rest. Your back against the wall. A kitty in your lap. And then ready for our last pose. So go ahead, we're going to take feet up the wall. So taking the hips up as close to the wall as you can, getting one hip up on that wall. Avoiding the kitty, swinging the feet up. And then just taking the arms out to the side wide, relaxing them down. Go ahead and flip those palms face down. With your arms out to the side, rotating the shoulders slightly differently. Last few deep breaths here. And go ahead and take those hands alongside the hips, palms facing up. You can stay here as long as you need to for a nice restorative inversion, allowing the shoulders to sink toward the floor and be supported by the floor. I'm going to stay here a little bit longer because Lucy is not interested in letting me up. She loves this pose. Thank you for joining me for this practice. If you enjoyed this practice, please like and comment down below. If you're not a subscriber already, go ahead and click that subscribe button over to your right-hand side and join me each Thursday morning for a brand new practice, Yin Restorative Flow Meditation. If you're interested in expanding your practice and going a little bit deeper, you can join me at theyogaranger.vhx.tv. It's a member site where we have exclusive weekly videos, a practice calendar each month, live calls each month, as well as a support community, Facebook private group, and journaling prompts throughout the month as well. So would love to have you there at theyogaranger.vhx.tv. Link is up above and down below. If not there, would love to see you here again on YouTube. Have a wonderful, relaxing week. Are you ever going to let me up?